Hello everyone, thanks for checking out today's video. Welcome to my channel, Jersey Shore Pondscapes Videos. My name is Chris. We talk all about koi ponds and water gardens, design, construction, pond filtration, fish, aquatic plants, troubleshooting, product reviews, tons of stuff here for you. I've got a bunch of videos here on this channel. To help you hopefully, answer some questions, guide you a little bit, and help make your pond endeavors a little more enjoyable and successful. So yeah, I've been building ponds professionally now for over 25 years, and I just hope to share with you some of the things I've learned and hopefully help you out a little bit. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I also have a website called Pondscapes and More, where we talk all about different pond products. I have some blogs, some articles, pictures of ponds and videos and all kinds of fun stuff. I also put together a page on there that I hope you can help me out with. It's called Ponds Around the World, and I was hoping to put together something where people from all over the world can just share with me a picture of their pond that I can post up here for everyone to see. And I thought it'd be really cool to see what different ponds look like from different parts of the world. So please send me just a picture, just a brief description of it. I'd love to put it here on my website and share it with everybody. And you can do that here with my email address below. All right. So today's video, we're doing another video in a whole series of videos I have here about different pond plants, different aquatic plants. And today we are talking specifically about oxygenators. I really want to teach you about this a little bit because there's some very important things that you need to know about oxygenators and whether or not you really need them in your pond. So I want to start off basically, first of all, by just explaining to you that the term oxygenators to describe these plants is it's a little weird, all right? Simply because just about all plants are oxygenators, right? If it's got leaves, it can generate oxygen. So what happens here is, during a process called photosynthesis, during the day, during sunlight, while the plant is absorbing sunlight, there's a whole chemical process that occurs within the plant that the end product is oxygen, okay? It puts off oxygen out of its leaves. It's absorbing carbon dioxide, all right? And it's putting oxygen out. Being that these plants are underwater, they're submerged underwater, the oxygen that comes off of the leaves goes directly into the water, okay? Whereas your trees and bushes outside, your flowers in your garden, all those plants push oxygen through their leaves as well, but being that they're not underwater, the oxygen is simply going out into the air, okay? So they're calling these oxygenators because they give off oxygen directly through their leaves and they are submerged underwater, so the oxygen goes directly into the water. So all kinds of garden centers, pond shops, aquarium stores, all that stuff, all sell these plants as oxygenators, all right? What really stinks is that they do not tell you that they are only oxygenators during the day when the sun's shining and there's this process called photosynthesis occurring. At night, when it's dark and there's no sunlight, in fact, the opposite process takes place. So rather than the plant taking in carbon dioxide and pushing out oxygen, at night it is actually taking in the oxygen and pushing out the carbon dioxide. Now this can cause some serious problems in your pond, okay? Because now these plants are absorbing all the oxygen in the water. Thus, your fish might be under a great deal of stress at night. if you do not have a supplemental oxygen source going in your pond. An aeration system, a waterfall, a stream, a filtration system running, okay? Somehow we need to supplement oxygen into our ponds at night, okay? Some people I know, I don't recommend it, but some people I know shut their waterfalls off at night. Maybe they're trying to save some money with not running the pumps at night, or they're sleeping so they don't need to hear the sound of the running water. So for whatever reason, they shut their waterfalls off at night. This can be a really bad thing, okay? Keep your pumps, your filtration system running constantly. Your pumps, your filters, your UV lights should be running 24/7, all right? All day, all night, constantly, all the time. That will help prevent any stress on your fish if you have a lot of these oxygenating plants in your pond. Otherwise, if you don't have a supplementing oxygen source, you may wake up in the morning and find your fish dead or sucking, gasping for air at the surface of the pond. All right, so please be aware of that. Like I said, I think it's really kind of crappy that a lot of stores and stuff don't tell you the whole story behind these plants. They just sell you plants saying you need these in your pond because they provide oxygen in your water. And that's really, really not the truth. Okay? So please be aware of that. All right, so let's move on. Understanding that now, let's look at some different plants that are available, okay, sold as oxygenators. Many of these plants are not only sold in the pond, trade, but also in the aquarium, like the tropical fish, freshwater fish tank trade as well. Because having, fresh, live plants in your fish tank, can be a really nice thing compared to just having some fake plastic ones in there, okay? So there's a lot of benefits and stuff, and just natural points that these plants can add to your fish tank as well. In an outdoor garden pond, it's a little bit different, okay? One, we are not looking through a glass tank at, the plants growing and the fish swimming around them. We are looking down into the water. So we don't see all of what's actually going on down there underwater, right? So visually, these plants don't have much an effect. You will see them down there from the top and be like, oh, okay, there's some kind of plant down there, but not have that same visual effect as looking through an aquarium glass, right? An acrylic tank or something. Now, some of these plants can grow quite large, all right? The most popular one we'll talk about here is called Anacharis. It's also called Alodia. But Anacharis is a very common plant, very easy to grow, all right? Basically, it's sold either like a group of stems and a little plug, or a group of stems with a rubber band around it, and it's simply cuttings off of a larger plant. Then you just take the cuttings off them. They could be 6-8 inches long, put them together, put a rubber band around them, and sell it. It's that easy. And those cuttings will root out on their own and just grow. So what I recommend doing, they don't necessarily have to be potted, but if you want to pot them, it certainly won't hurt. You can just take a small pot, put a group of these stems in the pot, remove the rubber band first, of course. Put the group of stems in the pot, either put a little dirt around it with gravel on the top, or you can simply just plant it in gravel. If you have rock and gravel in the bottom of your pond, you can simply just stick it 1 inch or 2 into the gravel in the bottom of the pond and maybe put a bigger stone or something on top of it to anchor it, hold it down until it gets rooted. But once it gets rooted in, these plants take off. Very simple. I mean, you can even just take that little group of stems and just lay them on the bottom of your pond and put a rock on top of it, and they will just grow. All right? Really, really easy. Anacharis can get quite large, all right, and it does spread. So off of one stem, you're going to have other stems growing off of it. It can grow 2 to 3 feet long. So, you can put this down at the bottom of your pond and it can reach the surface. Now, these plants have a very soft stem. So once it hits the surface of your pond, it will not grow up and out, okay? It's not going to protrude out of the surface of the water and stand upright. It's basically going to come to the surface of your pond and then just spread along the surface of the water. I have seen some ponds that are really full of this stuff. It can grow and spread quite rapidly. Now, as far as its hardiness goes, honestly, I'm kind of mixed. Most of the aquarium tropical fish trade things, want you to keep it in warm water. Some of it will grow in colder water, but I do not believe that it's winter hardy, all right? What gets me is that I have seen ponds that are really almost overgrown with this stuff, and I can't believe that that growth is all from 1 year. If it is, it's just insane how fast it grows. So I am thinking that if it gets rooted in, that it can survive some winters and regrow. But in general, I don't consider it to be, winter hardy, all right? But it also produces a small little white flower on the plant. And I believe that flower is mostly just due to reproduce seed, right? To reproduce the plant, right? To grow more plants. It is not a stunning flower. It is not a plant you're going to buy and grow for its flower. Absolutely not. You're simply just buying these plants as oxygenating plants in your pond, which they don't really do. Anyway, okay, so not known for the flower at all. Basically, it looks almost like the term seaweed in your pond. All right. So it can grow quite large. You may have to cut it back. Again, if you cut it, you can replant it, right? Just take the cuttings, stick it back in the soil and the rocks. The roots will come out of it and just start growing again. Very, very easy to grow. So we need to be aware of a few things here with it. Number one, a lot of fish will eat it, right? Koi, goldfish, but especially like larger koi will rip through this stuff. They will eat a lot of it. Koi will tend to lay their eggs in it, okay? But the stems and the leaves on this plant are very delicate, all right? It's not a rough, viney, heavy plant. It's very, very delicate. So some large koi, laying their eggs and swimming through this stuff is simply just going to tear it all up, all right? It's going to be pieces of this stuff all over your pond. So definitely be aware that your fish may eat it. Also, snails may eat it as well. One good thing with this plant is the fact simply that it can provide some protection to young, baby fish. So, if your fish are laying eggs, whether it's koi or goldfish, and those eggs get down into these plants and they hatch and you end up with little baby fish, those fish can seek refuge in there and be protected inside these plants. So it kind of helps in that respect. But other than that, I really don't see a purpose, to have these plants in your pond. Again, with larger fish, goldfish, koi, catfish, they're going to rip these plants apart, okay? So, yeah, just some things to think of and be aware of here with this stuff. I think it is mostly a gimmick. You really do not need these plants in your pond. I would prefer not to have them. It's just a cleaner thing. And talking about cleaning, all right? So these plants being submerged underwater actually do a good job to help absorb organics and impurities and some chemicals out of the water to help kind of filter the water and keep it clean. Yes, absolutely. Okay, they do. But again, is that really necessary, or can your pond filters do that? Can the biological balance in your pond take care of all of that naturally itself? Yes, for the most part, I believe it does, because I don't use this stuff in any of my ponds, and I don't have issues. So just some food for thought. Okay, some benefits, some negatives. Should you buy this stuff? I would say no. Okay, do you need it? No. Please be aware of the fact that at night it absorbs oxygen and can cause more stress on your fish if you do not have a supplemental oxygenating source in your pond. Okay? So I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope that gives you good insight, good understanding of what these plants are all about. There are several other plants. We talked about Anacharis. There's another one called Kabamba. There's another one called hornwort. There's several of them out there in the trade. They're all kind of similar. They all kind of grow the same ways. The Anacharis is definitely the most common, easiest to grow. The Kabamba can be a little sensitive, a little touchy, a little more difficult when it comes to water chemistry and stuff like that. It is kind of cool. It's a very soft looking plant. It has lush green foliage, or it even comes in like a reddish orangey pink kind of plant as well, which is much more rare, more common in the aquarium trade than in the pond trade. But generally, Kabamba, the hornwort, yeah, I mean, there's several different plants out there, all pretty much the same concept, the same idea. And in general, for me, I kind of avoid all of them. All right. But you may like it, you may want it, you may want to try it. Hey, that's all up to you. All right. Just be aware of some of these issues. And yeah, I hope it helped you out a little bit. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, check out my website. I really do appreciate your support. Send me some pictures for ponds around the world. I think that'd be very cool. And thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you back soon again in another video. So have a great day and enjoy your pond. Take care. Bye.